Right now on your screen, you're seeing 12 gemstones that were found in nature, starting from the cheapest, which costs $10 per carat, all the way up to the most expensive, valued at over $100 million. If you add up the total value of all the gems on your screen, you're looking at more than $250 million in precious stones. And the best part is, if you're lucky and know where to look, you might just stumble upon one of these gems in your own region. But how is that even possible? Well, to show you why these gems can be worth so much, we're going to explore the places where they were discovered, to understand what makes someone spend millions of dollars on a stone the size of a coin. And who knows, you might even live near one of these locations. But before we reveal where the most valuable gem on the list was found, we're going to start with this one, the cheapest of them all, worth exactly $10 per carat. It's super easy to find, which means if you've ever hiked a trail or walked by a river, there's a good chance you've already seen one of these up close. I'm talking about quartz. This is one of the most common gemstones found in nature. It's easy to spot, and there are geological formations of this crystal almost everywhere in the world. That's why it's usually not worth that much. In general, a clear quartz with good appearance is worth about $10 per carat, and many aren't even sold at all. But even so, quartz has something that catches people's attention. Sometimes you can find beautiful crystals like this one in nature, with a glassy shine, and even if they don't have much monetary value, they still work great as decorations or collector's items. In rivers, these stones are found like this, smooth and rounded, almost as if they've been polished. If you go to any river in your region, there's a good chance you'll find a crystal that looks just like this. And it's exactly because it's easy to find that quartz is one of the most collected gemstones in the world. That said, if you want to find quartz in nature, the best places are regions with granitic soil or a history of hydrothermal activity. In the United States, some of the most well-known spots include the Ouachita Mountains in Arkansas, inland parts of California, Colorado, Maine, and regions of Texas and North Carolina. In many of these places, quartz can be found in riverbeds, rock crevices, or even lying loose on the ground, just waiting to be discovered. It may not be worth much, but quartz is just the beginning. And because the Cabo de Nao Gem Channel is the most reliable when it comes to gemstones, just like the last one, the next stone on the list can also be found by chance. But when it appears with the right color and in the right shape, the value changes completely. And that's when things start to get a lot more interesting. This little purple stone is amethyst. It's a variety of quartz, but unlike the one before, it has color, it has shine, and depending on its quality, it can be worth hundreds of dollars per stone. For a long time, amethyst was considered a rare gemstone, used by kings, priests, and nobles. But over time, large deposits were discovered in several parts of the world, and today it's much more accessible. Still, if you come across an amethyst with deep color, good transparency, and decent size, it can be very valuable. The more common ones are worth between $20 and $50 per carat, but exceptional specimens can easily exceed $100. What stands out the most in amethyst is its purple tone. It can range from light lavender to deep, almost dark violet. The more intense and uniform the color, the rarer and more valuable the stone becomes. Also, well-formed crystals with intact terminations are even more sought after by collectors. And here's the best part. You can actually find amethyst in nature. In the United States, it appears mainly in Arizona, Colorado, North Carolina, and also in parts of Maine and Georgia. The best chances are in areas with hydrothermal veins, abandoned mines, and regions with volcanic rock. In some rivers, you might even find tumbled fragments, just like with quartz. So yes, you could still stumble upon one of these. But unlike quartz, this one is already worth paying attention to. And the next stone on the list takes that idea even further. Because with the right color and perfect formation, it can reach values in the thousands of dollars per carat. I'm talking about gemstone-grade citrine. Just look at that beautiful color. Just like amethyst, citrine is also a variety of quartz. But instead of the purple tone, citrine displays a color that ranges from light yellow to deep orange, resembling the glow of the sun. And when it has the right hue, good transparency, and a decent size, it can be worth much more than you might expect. Natural citrine is relatively rare. In fact, most citrines sold on the market are actually amethysts that have been heat treated until their color changes. And that's exactly why genuine citrine, formed naturally under geothermal heat, is more valuable and highly sought after by collectors. A good quality citrine can range from $30 to $80 per carat, but top-grade faceted stones with deep color and visual perfection can be sold for up to $200 per carat at auctions and high-end jewelry stores. But why would someone pay $200 for a yellow stone? Well, that's a matter of status. A natural citrine, aside from being rare, draws attention with its warm glow and conveys a sense of class and wealth. Many people believe citrine attracts prosperity, which is why it's not only used in jewelry, but also as a good luck charm in offices, businesses, and workspaces. And the best part, you can also find citrine in nature. In the United States, natural citrine can be found in states like Colorado, North Carolina, California, and Georgia, especially in areas with granitic rocks and pegmatites. Outside the U.S., there are known deposits in Scotland, parts of Spain, and also in the mountainous regions of Switzerland and Eastern Europe. But the largest and purest crystals ever discovered came from countries like Madagascar, Brazil, and some regions of West Africa. These are ancient and deep geological formations that support the creation of natural citrines with excellent color. Now back to our list. When it comes to value, citrine is the kind of stone that starts to get interesting. It may not change your life, but it could easily be the first gem you sell for a solid profit. And that brings us to the next stone on the list. Because now we're leaving the world of quartz and entering the territory of truly rare gemstones. And this next one, if it has the right color, can be worth thousands of dollars per carat, even when it's small. This is savorite garnet, and personally, I think it's absolutely stunning. This gem has one of the most vibrant green colors in the world. And unlike emeralds, which almost always have internal fractures, savorite can be found with perfect clarity, intense brilliance, and surprising durability. And when it shows up like that, the price skyrockets. To give you an idea, a high-quality savorite garnet like this one can range from $500 to $2,000 per carat, and exceptional specimens with deep color and high transparency have been sold for over $5,000 per carat. In some international auctions, rare pieces have even reached $10,000 per carat. But what makes this garnet so special is that, unlike most other gems on this list, it strikes the perfect balance between brilliance, durability, and color. It has a shade of green that often rivals the finest emeralds in the world, but without the imperfections that typically come with natural emeralds. And even though it may seem like an unreachable gem, you can in fact find it in nature. In the United States, green garnet deposits have been found in parts of Vermont, Idaho, and Alaska, although pure savorites are much rarer. Around the world, the best examples come from Kenya, Tanzania, and some remote regions of Pakistan. In Europe, green garnets have been reported in isolated areas of Norway and Finland, usually associated with metamorphic rocks and calcite veins. Just imagine finding one of these stones in nature and selling it for $10,000. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? With a gem like this in your hand, reality starts to shift. Unlike citrine or amethyst, savorite is a stone that is already on the radar of investors and high-end jewelers. Now moving forward, if you think $10,000 is a lot, the next gem on our list goes way beyond that. Because not only does it shine in a truly unique way, it can also display different colors depending on the light. And that little detail, as simple as it sounds, can turn an ordinary-looking stone into a gem worth tens of thousands of dollars. This gem now appearing on your screen is alexandrite. And honestly, this stone looks like it came from another planet. It's one of the only natural gemstones that can actually change color depending on the light. Yes, you heard that right. Under natural light, it may appear green or bluish green. But when you place it under artificial light, like a lamp or even fire, it shifts to shades of red, purple, or even deep burgundy. Pretty amazing, right? It's like a gemstone with a dual identity, and that feature alone makes it one of the most valuable gems in the world. A natural alexandrite with strong color change, high transparency, and no visible flaws can be worth anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 per carat.
But this stone right here is 20 million.
20 million.
And discount for me?
Discount for you.
What if I swallow it? And then you cut me open, I get it.
Yes, you heard that right. But that's the exception, not the rule. because finding one of these in nature is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Alexandrite was first discovered in Russia in the Ural Mountains during the mid-19th century, and since then, it's only been found in a handful of places around the world. In other words, it's not impossible to find one, but it's definitely unlikely. In the United States, there are rare reports in parts of Arizona, but the most significant deposits come from Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and Brazil. In Europe, true alexandrite is almost non-existent, which makes Russian specimens even more legendary and highly sought after. After all, who wouldn't want to find a gemstone that could be worth $70,000 per carat? Still, there's always a bigger fish, right? The next gem on the list goes beyond the $30,000 mark because it looks like a flash of blue lightning trapped inside a gemstone. And when it's found in the right shape, it can mesmerize just about anyone, including buyers with millions of dollars in their bank account. This turquoise blue stone you're seeing on your screen right now is Paraiba tourmaline. And believe it or not, there are buyers in the world willing to pay over $50,000 per carat just to own one of these. It's so luminous that it looks like it's lit from within, and when light passes through the stone, it's as if there's a bolt of lightning trapped inside. That's why many people call it the blue lightning gem. But what makes Paraiba tourmaline so special and so expensive is its chemical composition. It contains extremely high amounts of copper and manganese, which create that neon glow that no other gemstone in the world can replicate. That's why even a small Paraiba stone stands out in any jewelry showcase. To give you an idea, a 2-carat Paraiba tourmaline with good transparency and flawless cutting can easily reach $50,000. And the rarer the color, like pure blue or neon green, the higher the price. There have even been unique specimens sold for more than $100,000 per carat. But here's the catch. Finding one of these in nature is almost a miracle. The first Paraiba tourmaline was discovered in 1989 in the interior of Paraiba State in Brazil. And since then, the Brazilian mines have pretty much dried up. What remains are stones that were already extracted and are now traded on the international market. Outside of Brazil, tourmalines with a similar appearance have been found in Nigeria and Mozambique. But even those are extremely rare. In the United States, there is still no official record of a natural Paraiba tourmaline. But hey, just imagine finding one of these by accident and learning that it's worth more than a luxury car. The color is so intense that even experienced buyers are stunned the first time they see one in person. And if you thought that was surreal, just wait for what's next. Because the next gem on this list doesn't just shine, it's been revered for thousands of years. And when it shows up in its purest form, it can easily surpass $100,000 per carat. This is the Colombian emerald, one of the oldest and most valuable gemstones in history. It has always been associated with power, luxury, and spirituality. And when it comes from Colombia, its value goes even higher. That's because Colombian emeralds have an intense, vivid green color, not leaning toward blue or yellow. It's the ideal shade, and that's why they are considered the best emeralds in the world. A high-quality stone can be worth anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 per carat. And if it's flawless, no fractures, no treatments, the value can go beyond $200,000 per carat. Besides the color, what makes emeralds so coveted is how hard it is to find a truly clean stone. Most are found in narrow veins, inside hard rock, often extracted by hand. In the United States, emeralds have been found in North Carolina, where there's even a public mine open to visitors. But truly valuable emeralds still come from Colombia, especially from the Muzo region. There are also good deposits in Brazil, Afghanistan, and to a lesser extent, in Austria and Norway. Can you imagine stumbling across one of these by accident? Sounds unlikely, but it has happened before. Now hold on, because the next stone on the list is even rarer, and depending on the specimen, it can easily exceed $1 million. This is the Burmese ruby, and yes, this gemstone has already been sold for more than $1 million. What makes this ruby so special is its color. There's a specific hue known as pigeon blood, an intense red with a glowing inner fire. And when a ruby reaches that tone, the price skyrockets. A high-quality Burmese ruby can be worth $150,000 per carat, or even more. And if the gem weighs over 5 carats, is untreated, and has a flawless cut, the value can exceed $3 million for a single stone. These rubies come from the Mogok region in Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, home to the most famous and sought-after ruby deposits in the world. Other countries like Thailand, Vietnam, and Mozambique also produce good quality rubies, but none that compare to the intensity of Burmese stones. In the United States, rubies have been found in Montana and North Carolina, but they're usually small and of lower quality. A flawless Burmese ruby is something you'd expect to see in a museum or at a high-end international auction. But as we've seen so far, there's always someone who finds a rare stone where no one else is looking. And now we're reaching the top of the list. The next gemstones aren't just rare, they're legendary, and one of them has already been sold for more than $70 million. This is the pink star, and to this day it holds the title of the most expensive diamond ever sold in history. It was discovered in South Africa in 1999, weighing over 132 carats in its rough form. After 2 years of meticulous cutting, it became the stunning 59.6 carat jewel with a vivid pink color, the highest possible grade for diamonds of that hue. In 2017, the pink star was auctioned for $71.2 million in Hong Kong, shattering all previous gemstone sales records. And what's even more impressive is that it was bought by a jeweler who renamed it the CTF Pink Star in honor of his father. This diamond isn't just expensive, it's one of a kind. The combination of its weight, purity, and intense color puts it in a class of its own. To this day, no other pink diamond with these characteristics has ever been found. That's why the pink star is considered one of the most valuable gemstones ever extracted from the earth. And the most fascinating part? It came from nature, straight out of the South African soil, proving that, as unlikely as it may seem, a single stone can be worth more than a yacht, a mansion, or even a classic work of art. But now, before we reveal the final gemstone on our list, there's something important you need to keep in mind. You should never throw away a stone you find in nature. In fact, the next gem we're about to show you is living proof that one of the most valuable stones on Earth was found completely by accident. All it takes is being in the right place at the right time. Many people have stumbled upon valuable gems without even knowing it. And because they lacked the right knowledge, they ended up selling something that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars for just a few cents. That's why, if you want to protect yourself from opportunistic buyers and learn how to identify what you really have in your hands, check out our ebook, Gemology Journey for Beginners. It's a straightforward guide designed for beginners, packed with simple tests you can do at home, like density testing, hardness testing, visual inspection, and light refraction. These tests can seriously help you identify your finds with more confidence and avoid getting tricked by people looking to take advantage. On top of that, the ebook comes with an exclusive chart of the most common minerals, their characteristics, and rarity levels. Perfect for anyone who wants to build a serious collection. Right now, the regular price is $20. But if you're one of the first to click the link, you can get it for less than $10. And the best part? You have 7 full days to access the content. And if you don't like it, just request your money back. No questions asked. So take advantage of this while you can, because unlike our gemology ebook, the next gemstone on our list isn't for sale. That's because it's held as a national treasure, protected by museums, and considered one of the most famous gems of all time. This is the Hope Diamond. And unlike every other stone on this list, it's not for sale. This legendary gem was discovered over 300 years ago in India, deep within the mines of the Golconda region, which are known for producing some of the most famous diamonds in history. When it was first found, the rough stone weighed about 112 carats and had a deep blue glow unlike anything else ever seen. The diamond was eventually cut and passed through the hands of kings, bankers, collectors, and even smugglers. It became famous not only for its beauty, but also for a supposed curse, which allegedly brought tragedy, imprisonment, and financial ruin to many of its previous owners. Today, the Hope Diamond weighs 45.52 carats, has a rare grayish-blue hue caused by the presence of boron, and is valued at over $100 million. But that number is just an estimate. The gem has never been officially sold. Right now, it's on permanent display at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C., in the United States. It's one of the most visited gemstones in the world, protected by bulletproof glass and maximum security. But what if you wanted to find one of these diamonds in the wild? What exactly would you need to do to make that happen? Well, this is the most anticipated part of the video, the moment I reveal to you how these precious stones were actually discovered. And of course, we're going to give special attention to diamonds. Now imagine you're out in nature, and your goal is to find a blue diamond as valuable as the Hope Diamond or the Pink Star. What would be your first move? And more importantly, where would you even start looking? It's definitely not an easy task. And yes, there are many different ways to approach it. But to keep things simple, I'm going to show you the easiest method to locate raw diamonds in the wild and reveal all the geological clues you need to follow to succeed. By now, you probably already realize that diamonds are so valuable for a reason. They're rare and extremely hard to find. But what you might not know yet is that diamonds leave behind clues. These clues are other minerals, much more common, that form under the same extreme geological conditions. In other words, if you can learn to recognize those signs and know which types of terrain or rock formations to focus on, your chances of success go up before you even begin your search. And more than that, in just a moment, I'll show you how to identify a raw diamond in the field using simple tests you can do at home. Because when it comes to finding gemstones in nature, knowing where to look is only half the journey. The other half is knowing how to recognize what you've found. After all, many crystals like quartz, topaz, and zircon may look like diamonds, but they sell for just a fraction of the price. Now picture yourself standing at the edge of a river, your feet in the water. Suddenly you look down and notice a small, shiny stone resting on the riverbed, slowly being nudged by the current. It looks like a diamond coming straight toward you. Of course, this is just a fictional scene, because in real life, you'll never see a diamond casually floating down a stream. And here's why. The very first sign that a stone could be a diamond is its weight. Even when they're small, diamonds are much heavier than ordinary rocks of the same size. This means diamonds don't get swept away easily like other stones. Unless the current is extremely strong, a diamond won't travel far. It sinks quickly and gets buried beneath the gravel, especially in what we call alluvial deposits. But does that mean you could find diamonds anywhere in a river? Not quite, but it's not impossible either. There are specific areas within rivers where the odds are much higher, and those are the spots where diamonds and other valuable gems tend to build up over time. These places are known as alluvial zones, or alluvial deposits. These deposits can take thousands, even millions, of years to form. Here's the logic behind it. As the river erodes the soil over time, it breaks down rocks, often volcanic, especially during heavy rains or floods. The powerful current carries away the lighter particles and pushes the heavier ones along until the water slows down. When that happens, the heavier materials settle, while the lighter ones keep moving downstream. And it's in those quiet pockets that the densest gravel collects, including diamonds, gold, sapphires, and even rare minerals like titanium. And if you're thinking this only applies to rivers with flowing water, here's a little secret you need to know. There are ancient rivers that dried up centuries ago, but they left behind alluvial gravel that often hides valuable gemstones. So the real trick is knowing how to spot where the heavier gravel settled. Once you identify those areas, you can collect the material and use the techniques I'm about to show you to increase your chances of finding real diamonds. And the best part? Even if you don't strike a diamond, following this process could lead you to other precious stones like rubies, sapphires, tourmalines, and more, all of which can be just as valuable depending on size and quality. But if you really want to find high-value diamonds in your area, the first thing you should avoid is looking for diamonds directly. Yes, you heard that right. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but think about it. Trying to find a diamond without knowing what to look for is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Your odds are extremely low. However, unlike a needle, diamonds come with natural signposts, and these are called indicator minerals. And that's what you should be looking for first. Because without these minerals, it's almost impossible to know whether diamonds are even present in your region. So is this hard to do? Not really, and I'll show you the trick in just a minute. But first, let's break down what these indicators actually are. Basically, indicator minerals are heavier, more common rocks and minerals that form under the same extreme geological conditions as diamonds. That means if you spot them, there's a good chance diamonds could be nearby. The three most important indicator minerals you should learn to recognize are garnet, ilmenite, and chromite. These are far more common than diamonds, but they show up in the exact same geological environments. So spotting any of them is like seeing an arrow pointing in the right direction. Let's start with garnet, especially the pyrope variety. It's one of the easiest to identify. Pyrope garnets are usually reddish or orange, sometimes darker or brownish. In rivers, they often appear as rounded, faceted, or even cube-shaped pebbles, sometimes polished by water. While garnets can be gemstones themselves, and even valuable, their main role here is to signal a promising location for diamonds. Next is ilmenite, a dark, almost black mineral with a dull metallic shine that can look like polished iron. It's dense, heavy, and typically shows up in irregular shapes with a few flat faces. On the Mohs scale, its hardness is around 6, meaning it can be scratched by a quartz crystal, which is 7. That makes it easy to test in the field using a simple quartz tip or sandpaper. Then there's chromite, which is also dark but with a rougher surface and less shine than ilmenite. It's even heavier, more opaque, and often has an irregular, lead-like texture, almost like raw iron ore. Finding chromite, especially in areas with volcanic history or ancient riverbeds, is another strong sign that you're standing above precious ground. These three minerals often show up together in river gravels and ancient alluvial deposits, and they're way easier to spot than diamonds themselves. That's why learning to recognize them is such a key step in diamond hunting. Here's a practical tip. Every time you spot one of these minerals, mark the location, collect a sample, wash the gravel carefully, and use a set of sieves to isolate the heavier material. Whatever remains at the bottom could reveal even more clues. Or if you're lucky, a real diamond. Now here comes the real secret. Once you've identified the indicator minerals and confirmed that you're in a promising area, it's time to get your hands dirty, or better yet, wet. And while the idea of extracting diamonds from the earth might sound complicated, the truth is, the process is a lot simpler than it seems. All you need is a basic set of sieves, a bit of focus, and some patience. Ideally, you'll want 3 to 6 sieves with different mesh sizes. A coarse one for the larger rocks, a medium mesh for mid-sized gravel, and a fine mesh, which is where many diamonds like to hide. Start by collecting gravel from the riverbed or along the banks, especially in bends, deep pools, or slower-moving sections. These spots are perfect because that's where heavier minerals tend to settle. Once you have the material, place it in your largest sieve and begin to shake it in a gentle circular motion, letting water flow through the gravel. This movement helps wash away lighter particles like sand and small debris, leaving only the densest material at the bottom. With a bit of practice, you'll start to notice something. Even when collecting the same amount of gravel, the material that settles in the center of the sieve is always darker and heavier. And that's where you'll find garnets, ilmenite, chromite, gold, and yes, possibly a diamond. If you're working in a river with flowing water, the current will help do some of the separation work for you. But if you're prospecting in a dry riverbed or old alluvial deposit, just use a bucket of clean water and repeat the same process manually. Now here's the most critical part. Examine what's left at the bottom of your sieve with extreme attention. Diamonds don't look like other stones. Even the darker or oddly shaped ones have a unique kind of shine, a metallic glow like polished steel. One trick experienced prospectors use is to rotate the sieve slowly during the final rinses. This helps center the heavier materials, making them easier to spot. And don't be fooled by size. A diamond weighing just 1 gram is already a fantastic find. Even smaller ones, known as industrial diamonds, are proof that you're in the right place. And if you find one, don't stop. Keep digging, keep sieving. Because where there's one diamond, there might be more. And believe it or not, finding a lot of small diamonds can sometimes be even more profitable than hunting for a single big one. If you're searching in a river with flowing water, your chances just got even better. Because now I'm going to show you how to tell the difference between hundreds of ordinary stones and the ones that might actually be diamonds. When it comes to diamonds found in nature, especially in rivers, it's important to manage your expectations. You're not going to find a perfectly cut, sparkling gemstone like the ones you see in engagement rings or jewelry store windows. A rough diamond looks completely different. Most of the time it appears irregular, with rounded edges, sometimes even slightly polished, as if it's been sanded down by the river itself. That's because even though diamonds are the hardest minerals on Earth, they still get worn down by constant collisions with other rocks. So how do you tell the difference between a rough diamond and just another river stone? The first clue is its metallic luster. While most stones reflect light with a glassy shine like quartz or topaz, a diamond has a much more subtle, dense shine. It looks oily, metallic, almost like a polished piece of steel rather than a gemstone. This difference becomes obvious when you compare them side by side. Take a piece of quartz and place it next to a rough diamond. Quartz will look clear, almost like glass. The diamond, on the other hand, looks more opaque, but with a deeper, more intense reflection. Now that you know what to look for in the appearance of a rough diamond, the next step is to test its physical properties, to make sure that what you found is actually the real thing. One of the simplest and most effective tests you can do at home is the sandpaper test. For this, you'll need a coarse sandpaper, the kind you can buy at any hardware store. Look specifically for sandpaper made with carborundum, a material with a Mohs hardness rating of 9. That means it can scratch almost any stone, except for diamond, which scores a perfect 10 on the Mohs scale. To run the test, hold the stone firmly and rub it against the surface of the sandpaper with pressure. If the stone resists without any visible scratches, there's a good chance it's a diamond. But if it leaves behind a white powder or develops scuff marks, that means its hardness is lower, most likely quartz or plain glass. Another helpful test is light refraction. Shine a flashlight or any strong light source on the stone and observe how the light moves through or reflects off it. Diamonds have a very high refractive index, which means they bend and scatter light in a way that's totally unique. Even in rough form, you can sometimes see the light dance inside the stone, very different from the clear and even transparency of quartz crystals. If you have access to a precision scale, you can also compare the weight of your stone to other stones of similar size. As mentioned before, diamonds are extremely dense, and that density is noticeable when you weigh them side by side. Now here's something important. These home tests are incredibly helpful, but they're not 100% conclusive. So if your stone passes the sandpaper test, shows that metallic, oily shine, feels heavier than normal, and has a crystal shape typical of diamonds, do not rush to sell it. Instead, store it safely and, if possible, send it to a professional lab for analysis. A diamond certified by a trusted gemological lab, like the Gemological Institute of America, can be worth significantly more than one sold without verification. But what if your stone doesn't pass the test? Should you just throw it away and give up your search? Absolutely not. Here's the truth. The same indicator minerals that lead to diamonds often form in the exact same environments as other precious stones, some of which can be just as beautiful, rare, and valuable. Take garnets, for example. Not only are they a clear sign that you're in a promising location, but many garnets, especially Pyrrhup garnets, are gems in their own right. When well-formed and translucent, they can be cut and polished into stunning jewelry stones, selling for anywhere from tens to hundreds of dollars, depending on size and quality. Another great example is spinel. Though rare, it's often found alongside garnets and chromite. Spinel has famously been mistaken for ruby. Even by experts, it can appear in deep red, pink, blue, and even clear varieties. And some spinels are extremely valuable on the gem market. Then there's zircon, often underrated, but absolutely worth your attention. Natural zircon can show up in heavy mineral zones and is known for its golden, orange, or even reddish tones. When cut properly, high-quality zircon can be surprisingly valuable. And if you happen to be in a volcanic region or in an area with complex geological history, you might even come across sapphires or rubies, especially if the indicator minerals are present in good concentration. It's rare, sure, but not impossible. In fact, chromite, which often signals diamond potential, can also point to corundum-rich environments. And corundum is the base mineral for both sapphires and rubies. Even if the stone you find doesn't have high market value, the experience of discovering it, learning its story, and understanding the geological journey it took to reach you, that alone makes the hunt worthwhile. But before you go out searching every riverbed or gravel patch you find, here's one thing you absolutely need to know. Never throw away a stone unless you're sure what it really is. I get it. Identifying minerals can be hard, especially when there are hundreds of different gemstones out there. But believe me, some of our subscribers have shared stories where they unknowingly threw away or sold valuable gemstones for just pennies, simply because they didn't recognize what they had in their hands. Unfortunately, there are buyers out there who will take advantage of that, paying far less than what your stones are actually worth. That's exactly why I created the Gemology Journey for Beginners ebook, a complete, easy-to-follow guide for anyone starting out in the world of gemstone hunting. Inside, you'll learn how to identify raw diamonds, distinguish them from common crystals, and perform simple tests at home to check hardness, density, luster, and crystal structure, all using affordable tools you probably already have. This knowledge will give you the confidence to know exactly what you're holding before showing it to any buyer, so you don't fall into scams, or even treat your finds as a long-term investment. Originally, this material was designed for collectors, but we've since adapted it to help everyday people avoid being taken advantage of. And if your focus is collecting, you'll love the exclusive gem identification chart we've included. It covers dozens of minerals, their colors, densities, crystal habits, and rarity levels, perfect for anyone looking to grow in this journey. The full value of the ebook is $29.90, but right now I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Get lifetime access for just $9.99. And the best part? You get a 7-day guarantee to read the full guide and decide if it's right for you. If not, just ask for your money back, no questions asked, no hassle. And yes, the download works no matter where in the world you live. Once you click the first link in the description, you'll be taken to a secure page with all the information clearly explained step by step. Plus, by purchasing the ebook, you'll be helping to strengthen this amazing gem hunting community we've built together. The Cabo de Now channel has grown so much lately, and it's all thanks to people like you. We've inspired thousands of people around the world to embrace this hobby, and now it's your turn to be part of it. But if you're not ready just yet, that's totally fine. Just hit subscribe and keep learning for free with us. In the next episode, I'll show you how to spot other hidden gemstones in your area, like jade, rubies, sapphires, and even tourmalines. And some of them can be worth more than diamonds. So thanks for liking and subscribing. Good luck, Gem Hunter.